School of Management Studies, IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 006 Marketing Management for MBA program. Block 1 Introduction to Marketing and Markets. Unit 4 Consumer Behaviour. Part 2.
Personal factors. A consumer's purchase decisions are also affected by his personal characteristics, such as age, sex, and stage in family life cycle, education, occupation, income, lifestyle, his overall personality, and overall self-concept. We shall now discuss some of the influences. Demographic factors and life cycle stage. The first factor influencing a buyer's decision is his age. The need for different products and services changes with age. Babies and children have special needs for products such as milk powder, baby foods, and toys. Young adults need clothes, recreational and educational facilities, transportation, and a host of other age and fashion-related consumption needs. There are certain physiological differences between men and women which result in their having different consumption needs. Women need specialized medical facilities for pregnancy and delivery. Their requirement of clothes and cosmetics is different from that of men. Each gender thus has its own need for specific products and services. Consumption behavior is also influenced by the specific stage of the family life cycle. This family life cycle may depend on location or their purchasing power. Education and occupation. Education widens a person's horizons, refines his tastes, and makes his outlook more cosmopolitan. An educated person, as compared to somebody less educated, is more likely to consume educational facilities, books, magazines, and other knowledge-oriented products and services. For instance, in India, we find that educated families are more inclined towards adopting family planning than families which have no educational background. The occupation also shapes the consumption needs. People following specialized occupations such as photography, music, dance, carpentry, etc. need special tools and equipments. But apart from this specific need, the status and role of a person within an organization affects his consumption behavior. Chief executives would buy 3-piece suits of the best fabric, handmade leather briefcase, and use services of airlines and 5-star hotels. A junior manager or blue-collar worker in the same organization may also buy a 3-piece suit, but he may compromise on quality. Income. The income which a person earns is an extremely important influence on his consumption behavior. He may aspire to buy certain goods and services, but his income may become a constraint. Income in this context really refers to the income available for spending, that is, income after tax, provident fund, and other statutory deductions. The person's attitude towards spending versus saving and his borrowing power are also important influencing factors. Small size packaging in sachets for products such as tea, shampoo, toothpaste are meant for the lower income customers who cannot afford a one-time large outlay of money on such products. Products which are considered luxuries are more income sensitive than products which fall in the category of necessities. If you are marketing a luxury product, you must keep a close watch on income and saving trends to avoid decrease in sales resulting from recession. To avoid sales decline, you may need to reposition the product, change the marketing mix, or both. Personality. Personality is a sum total of an individual's psychological traits, characteristics, motives, habits, attitudes, beliefs, and outlooks. Personality is the very essence of individual differences. In consumer behavior, personality is defined as those inner psychological characteristics that both determine and reflect how a person responds to his environmental stimuli. Personality is enduring and ensures that a person's responses are consistent over time. There has been a great deal of research into the concept of personality with the objective of predicting consumer behavior in terms of product and brand choice. The assumption in all personality-related research has been that different types of personalities can be classified and each type responds differently to the same stimuli, and personality can be used to identify and predict that response. In case of products such as cigarettes, beer and cars, personality has been used to segment the market. The runaway success of Charm's cigarettes in the 80s used an urban, young, modern, carefree personality for appealing to the potential market segment of students and other young people. In contrast, Surf detergent powder is promoted with the help of Lalita ji, a middle-class, traditional, forthright and objective housewife. These are just the right personality variables that would appeal to a potential customer of Surf. Personality research to predict consumer behavior has either focused on total personality profile or a specific trait or attempted to find a correlation with product brand choice. But both these approaches assume that individuals with a given personality profile or trait are homogeneous in all other respects, such as age, income, education, occupation, etc. We have understood how all these factors strongly influence a consumer's decision. A much broader, more comprehensive approach for the characterizing behavioral pattern is needed, and this is provided by the concept of lifestyle. Lifestyle. Lifestyles are defined as patterns in which people live, as expressed by the manner in which they spend money and time on various activities and interests. Lifestyle is a function of our motivations, learning attitudes, beliefs and opinion, social class, demographic factors, personality, etc. While reading this unit, you are playing the role of a student. But at the same time, you also have your career, family, and social roles to play. The manner in which you blend these different roles reflects your lifestyle. Lifestyle is measured by a technique known as psychographics. It involves measuring consumers' responses to activities, interests, and opinions, or AIO, along with collecting information on demographic factors. Different individuals' responses are collected and analyzed to find distinctive lifestyle groups. Based on the AIO technique, different lifestyles have been identified and described. The different lifestyles are then used for market segmentation, product positioning, and for developing promotion campaigns, including new products. Social factors. Reference groups. As a consumer, your decision to purchase and use certain products and services is influenced not only by psychological factors, your personality and lifestyle, but also by the people around you with whom you interact and the various social groups to which you belong. The groups with whom you interact directly or indirectly influence your purchase decisions, and thus their study is of great importance to marketers. A group is defined as two or more people who interact to achieve individual or common goals. The three categories of groups which are important for the marketer to understand are: number 1, primary and secondary groups. A primary group is one with which an individual interacts on a regular basis and whose opinion is of importance to him. Family, neighbors, close friends, colleagues, and co-workers are all examples of primary groups. Secondary groups are those with which an individual interacts only occasionally and does not consider their opinion very important. Number 2, formal and informal groups. Members of clubs are some of the well-known special groups in our society. Labor unions, social clubs, and societies are other types of formal groups to which individuals may belong. A formal group has a highly defined structure, specific roles, and authority positions and specific goals. Number 3. In contrast, an informal group is loosely defined and may have no specified roles and goals. Meeting your neighbors over lunch once a month for friendly exchange of news is an instance of an informal group. Number 4. Membership and symbolic groups. A membership group is one to which a person belongs or qualifies for membership. All workers in a factory qualify for membership to the labor union. A symbolic group is one which an individual aspires to belong to, but is not likely to be received as a member. A clerk in an office may act as if he belongs to the top management group by adopting their attitudes, values, and modes of dress. Both membership and symbolic groups influence consumer behavior, but membership groups have a more direct influence. Primary, informal, and small groups exert the maximum influence on consumers and are of great interest for marketers. Any of these groups can serve as a reference group for a consumer if it serves as a point of reference or comparison in the formation of the values, attitudes, and behavior. Different kinds of groups, whether small or large, formal or informal, or symbolic, qualify as a reference group. The concept of reference group is a very wide one and includes both direct and indirect individual and group influences. Indirect reference groups comprise those individuals or groups with whom an individual does not have any direct face-to-face contact, such as film stars, TV stars, sportsmen, and politicians. Reference groups are used in advertising to appeal to different market segments. Group situation with which potential customers can identify are used to promote products and services. Hidden in this appeal is the subtle inducement to the customer to identify himself with the user of the product in question. The 3 types of reference group appeals most commonly used are number 1, celebrities, number 2, experts, and number 3, the common man. Celebrities are well-known people in their specific field of activity who are admired and their fans aspire to emulate their behavior. Film stars and sports heroes are the most popular celebrities. Soft drinks like Thumbs Up, shaving cream like Gillette, toilet soaps like Lux, textiles like Raymond are advertised using celebrities from the sports and film fields. Experts such as doctors, lawyers, accountants, and authors are used for establishing the benefits of the product. Colgate and Sensodyne toothpaste are examples of products which use the expert reference group appeal for promotion. Another reference group appeal is that which uses the testimonials of a satisfied customer. It demonstrates to the prospective customer that someone just like him uses and is satisfied with the product. Hindustan Unilever Limited for Surf has used this appeal very effectively using a stereotype upper middle class housewife known as Lalita Ji. Direct reference groups which exert a significant influence on consumers' purchase decisions and behavior can be classified into 6 categories. These are number 1, the family, number 2, friendship groups, number 3, formal social groups, number 4, formal shopping groups, number 5, consumer action groups, and number 6, work groups. Family. The family is the most important of all these groups and we shall discuss it in detail. The family as a unit is an important consumer for many products which are purchased for consumption by all family members. It is a source of major influence on the individual members' buying behavior. We identify 2 families which shape an individual's consumption behavior. One is the family of orientation, that is the family in which you are born and consist of your parents, brothers and sisters. It is from parents that we imbibe most of our values, attitudes, beliefs and purchase behavior patterns. Long after an individual has ceased to live with his parents, their influence on the subconscious mind still continues to be great. In our country, where children continue to live with their parents even after attaining adulthood, the latter's influence is extremely important. The second type of family is the family of procreation consisting of the consumer's spouse and children. Within the family, different members play different roles. Marketers are interested in finding out exactly the role played by individual members so that they can appropriately design their promotion strategy to suit these differing roles. Traditionally, it has been the wife's role to purchase food, clothing, and other household sundries, while the husband played a dominant role in the purchase of automobiles and life insurance. But with the emergence of the working woman, these lines of traditional role demarcation have been getting increasingly blurred. Husbands now have to shoulder a great part of the household duties while women are asserting themselves in areas so far treated as the husband's domain. Thus, the same decision in different families may be made either by the husband or wife, or both may have an equal voice. Children are also beginning to exert their influence on the family's purchase decisions. This is especially true in case of products such as television, music systems, personal computers, white goods, etc., where the children are likely to have more updated information about various brands and product attributes. Commenting on the consumer behavior trends in the hi-fi stereo music today, Vice President of Pico Electronic, that is Consumer Electronics Division, said, and I quote, "It is teenagers who select sets and their papas just buy them." Roles. An individual may participate in many groups. His position within each group can be defined in terms of the activities he is expected to perform. You are probably a manager, and in your work situation, you play that role. However, at home, you play the role of a spouse and a parent. Thus, in different social positions, you play different roles. Each of these roles influences your purchase decisions. As a manager, you would like to buy clothes which reflect your status within the organization, such as a safari suit, three-piece suit, tie, leather shoes, etc. But at home, where you are in a relaxed and informal situation, you would prefer clothes which are comfortable rather than formal, and you may wear shirts, jeans, kurta pajama, dhoti or lungi or Bermuda shorts, etc. Status. Each role that a person plays has status, which is the relative prestige accorded by society. Status is often measured by the degree of influence an individual exerts on the behavior and attitude of others. People buy and use products which reflect their status. The managing director of a company may drive a Mercedes to portray his status in society. He may go to Europe or USA for a holiday rather than going to Masuri or Ooty. Group norms. The norms of a group are the implicit rules of conduct and behavior that are expected of its member. For instance, in certain multinational companies in India, the norm for office wear includes a full-sleeved shirt and tie, notwithstanding the terrible heat conditions. If marketers can identify the various groups to which potential consumers belong, they can successfully market those products and services whose consumption is dictated by the group norms. Conformity. Conformity implies that members of a group have adopted attitudes and behavior patterns that are consistent with the group's norms. In the context of consumer behavior, it refers to the percentage of members who knowingly use the same brand or product. Opinion leaders. Apart from the family, a consumer is influenced by the advice he receives from his friends, neighbors, relatives, and colleagues about what products and services he should buy. This process of influencing is known as the opinion leadership process and is described as the process by which one person, the opinion leader, informally influences the actions or attitudes of others, that is, opinion receivers. The influence is informal, and the setting in which the influencing process takes place has nothing to do with the actual buying or selling of the product in question. For instance, during lunch hour, you may casually ask your colleague to recommend a good television mechanic, or you discuss with your relatives and neighbors what brand of washing machine they possess and try to ascertain which brand is recommended by most before purchasing a washing machine for your own home. Further, the process often occurs between two persons rather than in a large group setting. Thus, the opinion leadership process can also be thought of as the word-of-mouth communication. The advice of opinion leaders is sought in case of specific products. People who have acquired considerable knowledge and experience in a particular field are thought of as opinion leaders in that area. Both opinion leaders and followers receive information on all kinds of products and services from the mass media. But the opinion receivers are more influenced by the opinion leaders rather than the media. In the eyes of the opinion receiver, the opinion leader has more credibility than the mass media. The opinion leaders become a sort of middleman, receiving information from mass media and passing it on to opinion receivers. Advertisers and marketers are concerned with reaching the opinion leaders and ensuring that they receive the intended information which they can in turn pass on to opinion receivers. Thus, the first task of the marketer is to identify the opinion leaders. In a particular society, persons who are members or participants in a number of social organizations and have a high social activity participation are likely candidates for opinion leaders. Having identified the opinion leaders, the next task is to reach them through the media which they patronize. Direct mail pieces, magazines, and journals of clubs and social organizations and special interest magazines for specialty products are some of the appropriate channels for this purpose. Diffusion of innovation. Opinion leaders are usually innovators. They are always trying out new products and brands and recommending them to the opinion receivers. The acceptance of new products, brands, and ideas is known as the diffusion of innovation. In a narrow sense, innovation is defined as something new or modified which has a relative advantage over the existing products. Marketers are concerned with the spread or diffusion of this innovation, which is a two-step process. The first step is the spread of awareness of an innovation from its source to the consumers. The second step is the individual consumer decision-making process, which leads up to the acceptance or rejection of the innovation. Cultural factors. Culture. Culture is an extremely critical and all-pervasive influence in our life. It is a mold in which we are all cast, and it controls our daily lives in many unsuspected ways. The study of culture encompasses all aspects of a society, such as its religion, knowledge, language, laws, customs, traditions, music, art, technology, work patterns, products, etc. All these factors make up the unique, distinctive personality of each society. For our purpose of studying consumer behavior, culture can be defined as the sum total of learned beliefs, values and customs which serve to guide and direct the consumer behavior of all members of that society. Culture is learned through three ways, and they are: number 1, formal learning. In this, parents and elders teach children the proper way to behave. For instance, a child may be taught that too many toffees and chocolates are bad for his teeth. This learning may influence his response both as a child and adult towards these products. Number 2, informal learning. In this, we learn by imitating the behavior of our parents, friends, or by watching TV and film actors in action. And number 3, technical learning. In this, instructions are given about the specific method by which certain things have to be done, such as painting, dancing, singing, etc. Though a marketer can influence all the three types of learning through his company's advertising strategy, it is informal learning which is most amenable to such influences. Children learn much more about products and services through advertisement in mass media, especially TV, than they do either from their parents or teachers. Brand loyalties and images developed in the early formative years of childhood tend to be deep-rooted and affect the child's consumer behavior even in later years of adulthood. Marketers' interest lies in identifying the potential consumer segments and catching them young. The kinds of products and advertising appeals that can work effectively in a society depend largely on its cultural background. In the Western society, individualism, freedom, achievement, success, material comfort, efficiency, and practicality are values which are followed and imbibed by the younger children. Products and services which fulfill these values are most successfully marketed in America. In the Indian society, on the contrary, conformity, spiritualism, respect for the elderly, traditionalism, and education are some of the dominant cultural values. However, our society is undergoing a cultural metamorphosis, and you can discern some major cultural shifts which have far-reaching consequences for the introduction of a vast variety of new products and services. Some of these changes are: number 1, convenience. With more women joining the workforce, there is an increasing demand for products that help lighten and relieve the daily household chores and make life more convenient. This is reflected in the soaring sale of gas stoves, food processors, washing machines, vacuum cleaners, ready-to-eat or cook packets of dehydrated, frozen or pre-cooked foods, fast food outlets, and many more. 15 years ago, when Hindustan Unilever Limited first introduced the concept of dehydrated vegetables and marketed Mmpc, the concept did not succeed. The cultural value was of eating fresh and freshly cooked food. But today, that cultural value does not have a strong hold, and frozen foods which can be kept up to 6 to 7 months are being successfully marketed. Number 2, education. People in our society today wish to acquire relevant education and skills that would help improve their career prospects. This is evident from the fact that so many professional, career-oriented educational institutes in technology and management education are coming up, and still they cannot seem to meet the demand. The establishment of IGNOU is also a result of cultural trend. Number 3, physical appearance. Physical fitness, good health, and smart appearance are on premium today. Slimming centers, beauty parlors, yoga centers are mushrooming in all major cities of the country. Wellness and grooming products and services, both for women and men, have sprung up in every nook and corner of major cities and towns. Exclusive shops retailing designer clothes at fancy prices are doing brisk business. Number 4, materialism. There is a definite shift in the people's cultural value from spiritualism towards materialism. People are spending more money than ever before on acquiring products such as air conditioners, cars, motorcycle, home screen theater, etc., which add to both physical comfort as well as status. A company which wants to grow must keep a tab on such major cultural trends to ensure that its products fit in well with these new trends. Subculture. Within the large framework of a society, there exist many subcultures. A subculture is an identifiable, distinct cultural group which, while following the dominant cultural values of the overall society, also has its own beliefs, values, customs, and rituals that set them apart from other members of the same society. These subcultures offer ready-made market segments to the marketer who can position his product to meet the specific needs, motivation, perception, and attitudes of each subculture. However, the marketer may need to modify both his product and advertising appeal to suit their specialized needs. Every member of a society is a member of several subgroups, such as an elderly, Carolite, Christian, woman, or teacher. And the consumer's purchase decision is a result of the influence of these various subgroups. The marketer must understand how the specific subcultural groups interact with each other and exert their influence on the members' consumption behavior. Social class. In every society, there is inequality in social status amongst different people, and the people are categorized into different social classes. Social classes can be defined as relatively permanent and homogeneous divisions in a society in which individuals or families sharing similar values, lifestyles, interests, and behavior can be categorized. Social class is a concept based on distribution of status, and the categories are usually ranked in a hierarchical order ranging from low status to high status. People belonging to a particular class tend to restrict their interaction to people belonging to the same class unless it is for a very specialized purpose. Within a social class, there are shared values, attitudes, and behavioral patterns of consumption of certain products and services. But if we compare different social classes, we would find differences in values, attitudes, and behavior between each class, as also a pattern of consumption behavior unique to each class. Social class is an ideal basis for segmenting the market, as different social classes exhibit distinct product and brand preferences. Within the same social class, there is sharing of information on different products and brands, while between the different social classes, there is little communication. Different social classes have different media exposure and habits. Let us take the instance of English Women's Magazine. If we study the profile of Femina, Savvy, and Women's Era, we would immediately realize the different class of readers each magazine is catering to. Social classes thus are market segments which are easily identified and also easy to reach. Social class is a complex variable which is determined by a person's income, occupation, education, personal performance, and possession of different types of products. Social classes can be categorized on the basis of a number of different bases, such as blue-collar workers and white-collar workers, educated and uneducated, and so on. The most commonly accepted and used categories of social classes, along with their dominant distinguishing characteristics and the stereotype products and services consumed by them, are upper class, lower class, upper middle class, lower middle class, upper lower class, and lower class.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program, course code Mmpc 006, Marketing Management. Course Coordinator Professor T.B. Vijay Kumar, School of Management Studies IGNOU. Voiceover by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Savita. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.